Okay, we're going to calculate the payment amount now. Now, we already did this. Well, we solved our amortization formula. We had principal equals payment times, and then in brackets, 1 minus 1 over 1 plus the monthly interest rate raised to the number of payments divided by the monthly interest rate. Now, I'm not going to go through solving it, but what we did was we divided both sides of the equation by this part and this part, and what we ended up with before was payment equals principal times the monthly interest rate divided by, and then in brackets, 1 minus, and in parentheses, 1 divided by 1 plus the monthly interest rate raised to the number of payments. Now, in the previous videos, we were given a principal, we were given a monthly interest, or we're given a yearly interest rate, which we converted to a monthly interest rate. So we have the principal, we now have the monthly interest rate, and we also figured out the number of payments by multiplying our number of years by the number of months, because we make a payment every month. So we have all our variables that we need to be able to solve for the payment. So all we do now is plug in our numbers into the right side of the equation, and we put 200,000 for principal, 0.004074 for the monthly interest rate, and same thing, monthly interest rate 0.004074, and 360. Now, if we wanted to, we could have solved. It's like, even though there's not a parenthesis in this numerator to 200,000 times 0.004074, it's like there is. So you could have did that right in the beginning and got a number for the numerator. I didn't, because I didn't want to confuse you why I'm doing that multiplication before I work inside my brackets and my parentheses. So I just did it. I didn't want to skip steps and confuse you. So I'm going to solve this equation one step at a time, following our order of operations, which, if you remember, parentheses, then exponents, then either multiplication or division, whatever you read first from left to right, and similarly addition or subtraction, whatever you read first left to right. So we see the bracket, so we start to work inside there. The first thing we could do is do the addition inside that parentheses, which is 1 plus the 0.004074, and that becomes 1.004074. Now we're still working inside the bracket, can't do anything inside the parenthesis. We could do 1 divided by 1.004074, and here we get 0.995942. So what we have now is, in that bracket, we have 1 minus, in parentheses, 0.995942 raised to the 360th power. So now we do that. We do the 0.995942 raised to the 360th power, and we get 0.231343. So now what we have is, we have up top 200,000 times 0.004074, and in the denominator, in brackets, 1 minus 0.231343. So we're still inside brackets, so we're going to do that in the denominator. And 1 minus 0.231343 is 0.768657. So now we do the numerator, and we do 200,000 times 0.004074, and we get $814.60 divided by 0.768657, and we get $1,059.77. That's the number of payments you're going to, or that's your payment amount. Now remember, we're going to end up making, we're making payments for 30 years, so we're going to have 360 of these roughly $1,000 to $1,100 payments. Now remember, before we break this down, the loan that we took out was $200,000. That's the loan that the bank gave us for the house. Now we have to pay. We're making payments of $1,059.77, and we're making 360 of those payments. So as you can see, 360 multiplied by $1,000, roughly, that's at least $360,000, and the loan was $200,000. So you could see we're at least paying $160,000 more of interest, but it's going to be more because it's not exactly $1,000. I'm going to introduce a couple of formulas to make this simpler, to figure out exactly how much interest we pay over the course of a loan. Because remember, the loan amount that the bank gave us is all principal. The payments we make are principal and interest. And if we multiply all the payments amounts, which is all principal and interest, and we take away that full principal amount, which was the $200,000, that was the loan amount that the bank gave us, we'll be left with just our interest. And once again, I know it's hard to follow when someone just says what we're doing verbally, but once you see it step for step, hopefully it becomes easier to understand.